Hey guys, today's Thursday. I wanted to hop on here before the weekend, even though it's probably my last quiet weekend before wedding season starts officially for us. I got my first wedding of the year on March 7th, so I'm really excited about that. I have some things written down that I wanted to talk about. I keep getting the same question over and over again. You should talk about how you got your start. So I'm sort of one of those people where my dear friend Robert has told me, you have so much information to share. Well, I don't know what to share unless someone asks me. And so sort of trying to create content out of thin air is not easy. And I really commend the people who make these videos and have these amazing YouTube channels, because I don't know where they get their content from, and they're so passionate about what they're talking about. And I watch some of these videos and I'm like, man, I wish I was like them. They're amazing. I'm still trying to get used to all of this. So I feel like I'm not even there yet. So please just bear with me, sort of just starting out with all of this. If you have questions, please ask them. I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what you want to hear from me. I don't know what you need help with. So the question I keep getting asked over and over again is, how did you get your start? Well, I feel like I've told this story a million times. Maybe I have, you know? So how I've gotten my start, I couldn't have done it without definitely friends. Friends were there for me, friends I didn't even know I had. I had met a lot of people on shoots, a lot of other photographers on shoots, and that's sort of how I got my start. I would say maybe around 2009 is when things really started ramping up for me, or at least I thought. A lot of people don't know this, but I got my start in a very unconventional way. There was a friend who was in town. She lived here and she wanted to be a photographer. She had her heart set on being a photographer. So I didn't even know, I hadn't even thought about that profession. I knew, I mean, naturally we have people taking pictures and video and stuff like that, but I didn't know that that was even an option. And I almost don't like sharing that story, because I feel like nowadays it's so ridiculous to say something like that. Like, how could you not know that being a photographer was a job? I just never gave it much thought. I mean, you know, when you grow up, they ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a nurse. I want to be a librarian. No one ever says photographer. So, and especially growing up for me, being a photographer was like, how are you going to do that? I mean, they didn't even have digital cameras yet. So we've grown up in an age where, especially with cell phones and everything, it is so easy to be a photographer now. I mean, everyone, anyone who has a cell phone, they're taking pictures or taking video of stuff. So nowadays you can definitely see where being a photographer is a huge option, and people are making videos all the time. So getting back to my story, I didn't really get started in the most conventional way. Digital cameras were sort of, just coming out. The Canon Rebel was my first camera. It was the Canon Rebel XTI. When I bought the camera, I didn't buy a battery for it, so I was all excited. I opened up this box. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna do this. And then I didn't have a battery. I didn't have a memory card. I didn't know you needed any of that stuff. I thought, I'm just gonna turn it on and start taking pictures. So there's a huge learning curve with all of that. We would go down to Bricktown together and take pictures of our kids going through the splash pad. I don't even think they have the splash pad down in Bricktown anymore. But, just did stupid stuff like that. So it was a lot of fun. She moved, and I sort of felt like, you know what? I have this camera. I'm going to do something with it. So I got started in the way that I see everyone else on Facebook get started. I started taking pictures of families and kids and, all this stuff, because I thought, well, I have kids. It makes me an expert in taking pictures of kids. No, it didn't. So I quickly learned that maybe taking pictures of kids was not really my specialty. It's hard, and I commend those who do it. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of just stuff I don't have. So I'm really thankful for those that do that. I am not a kid photographer, so I got out of that. In the middle of me taking pictures of what I thought were the greatest pictures in the universe, I received an email. Actually, I think it was a Facebook message from another person. I'm not going to name them, but it was a person who really opened my eyes and really gave me the hard truth about being a photographer. And he basically told me I sucked. My work sucked. I'm like everyone else in this city. You're pumping out stuff that doesn't even matter. It's blurry. It's not even composed well. You don't know anything about photography. Why are you even doing this? And for about a good 2 months, I was depressed. I mean, it completely took me down. And I just remember being really down. And I thought, yeah, he's right. I'm not going to do this. What the heck am I doing? You know, I need to just keep going to work every single day, and that's just going to be my life, you know? And it wasn't until I really started studying the light and how to photograph, and I really just took everything I was doing and slowed it way down to where I felt like I was barely moving. But I took it to such a low level that I thought, I'm just, from the very basic part of photography, I'm just going to focus on one thing at a time, you know, rather than going out there and advertising on Craigslist and, you know, oh, I'll shoot your family for $20, you know. I mean, I know that that's where a lot of people start, and I know that that's where a lot of people think, well, you know, that's how everyone got started. Yeah, maybe it is how everyone got started, but it's not really the best way to get your start. That's just my opinion. And I can only share what I've learned and how I came to the level that I'm at now. And I still have a long ways to go. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, I'm the best thing in Oklahoma City and, you know, I know everything. No, I don't. I still make mistakes. I will be the first to admit, I still make mistakes every day, every week. You know, there's things that I've shot where I look back at them and I'm like, oh my God, why did I do that? How come I didn't move the light over 4 feet? Why did I stand there? Why didn't I, you know, have her stand over there next to this? Why did I shoot them right in front of this flagpole? And now I got to edit that out. So I'm still making mistakes, okay? I'm not the leading speaker on photography. All I can do is share my experience. And if you want to hear that, great. If you don't, please, you don't have to watch anymore. But basically, getting back to my story of how I got started, this other photographer brought me down. And I just really kind of gave up. It wasn't until my husband said, you know, don't listen to them. If this is something you want to do, pursue it, do it. But maybe just do it the right way and really focus on how to, you know, compose a photograph without it being blurry. Learn about shutter speed, learn about depth of field, learn about different lenses and what they do. So that's what I did. I really started studying, getting on the internet, getting on YouTube, finding, you know, someone who could teach me things. And I think right now YouTube is such a powerful thing. You can learn so much. But I want to stay on track because I can easily trail off into, you know, other stories. So I really started studying. I picked myself back up. There is a photo on Google even to this day, if you Google my name, that is of my daughter. I think she was probably about 5 years old. She's wearing a sun hat and a black shirt with hearts on it. I still remember it. I took it right here in my living room. And I had the light in such a way that when I posted this photo, I mean, it was great work. The same photographer who brought me down came back and said, I see something in you. You can do this. To post a photo like that after all of the junk you've been posting, you have to keep going. You have to pursue this. You have to, really study and surround yourself with people who can show you and help you with stuff. So that's what I did. His email telling me that he did see something in me was what really sparked me. So I go from, putting out work that, looking back, yeah, it wasn't that great, but I thought it was great. And the people that I took pictures of thought it was great. But looking back, at that work, yeah, I can say, nah, that's not really that great at all. So to go from that to really studying and honing my skill and putting out some work that really meant something, that I really tried hard at, and to get that recognition from him, that's what really pushed me forward and made me feel like, okay, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna do this. So that's what I did. I started doing fitness shoots, and I met a photographer named Torrey Purvey, and you guys probably have heard of him. He's an awesome photographer. I think he's on YouTube now. He's, his kids are in college, and I think he talks about that, but he's a school teacher, and we met. I don't even remember how we met, but we started doing shoots together and doing fun things on the weekends and practicing our lighting and all that stuff. And he sort of took me under his wing, and we did a lot of fun stuff at hotels and gyms and little, places. We've worked with a lot of people, but that was amazing. I met a lot of people through him. So I learned a lot. He would feather his light in such a way, and then he would, take a shot and show me, and then a light bulb would go off. So kind of surrounded myself with him, his crowd, met a lot of models. We did Fashion Week together. We were the first photographers in, Oklahoma for the first Fashion Week that Oklahoma ever had. We were there at the end of the runway taking pictures. So we've done a lot together. We haven't done anything in recent years. It's been a long time. I think we've sort of chosen our paths, and, we've sort of gone down and taken our own way. But he was a really important person that really sort of got me started, down this path. So I met a bodybuilder, a fitness sort of guru that I took pictures of, and his name is Drew. And sorry, I keep swallowing. My throat gets dry when I start talking. So we took pictures of him inside a gym. It was a lot of fun. Later, a few months later, he told me, I am getting my picture taken by another photographer, and I think you could really learn a lot from him. You should come to this shoot. So he invited me to his photo shoot with another photographer. I think I did bring some of my equipment, but this wasn't about me. I just wanted to go and observe. So I really didn't even want to take my camera. It wasn't about that. I went, and that's where I met another photographer who is my best friend to this day, and he took me under his wing for a couple of years, and that was the start of something. I sort of fell into another photographer's universe, and he took me under his wing and taught me a lot of things, and he was how I got started in weddings. He had these weddings lined up. He needed an assistant, a second shooter. I knew nothing about weddings. This was about probably 2011. I knew nothing about weddings. I'm like, I never thought about taking pictures of weddings, but I was like, okay, sure, I'll go. So I went, and it was mass confusion. And I thought, this is crazy. Who would want to take pictures of weddings? This is like, there's these people running around. Everyone's running late. I don't know what to take pictures of. What am I supposed to take pictures of? So he sort of walked me through how he shoots weddings. And so he would be taking pictures of the guys. I would be with the bride taking pictures of her and all of her bridesmaids. And then we'd get together and we would take pictures of all, the wedding party, all of the formals. I would stand and help him and, straighten ties and fix necklaces and fluff dresses and stuff like that. But it was through that process that I learned how to properly photograph a wedding. So, when these up and coming photographers, I see them on Facebook and they're like, well, I assisted one wedding and now I'm going to go out and be a wedding photographer. And, I need a lens. What lens should I use for that? And I read these posts and I shake my head and it's like, man, it's not about that. Don't go out and after assisting one wedding and think, I'm going to do them all now. You really have to connect with people and the couple that you're working with and bend your photography to what they need and what they're looking for. Obviously, if they like your work, they're going to hire you, but it's so much more than that. So I don't want to get off track. I did about 2 years worth of assisting with this photographer, and it taught me so much. I then realized, okay, I'm going to take this and run with it and make it my own. So after he basically said, okay, I've taught you everything I can taught you, it's time to spread your wings and fly, I flew. I booked my first wedding, just me, in 2013. And it was at Cole's Garden, and I was terrified. So I hired him as my assistant. And then my husband also came too, and he had a camera. He'd never shot anything. But I told him, I said, just, do the details on the tables and I'll look at your work later and I'll decide if you're worthy enough. Well, he was, and he ended up getting some shots that I gave to the bride that she absolutely loved. But I felt like I needed 2 other people on this wedding. There was no way I was doing this wedding by myself. And so with his help and my husband's help, and of course me, I had thousands of pictures to go through. It was totally insane. But we covered her wedding day in a way that was fun, and she was happy with all of the work. And I thought, after that, I'm doing this. I'm taking this and running with it. So I did. And I told my husband, I said, look, what you captured that day was amazing. We have to do this together. We have to be a team. You have to come with me. So he did. And a lot of people say, well, how did you guys become a team? Well, that's how we became a team. He came with me on a wedding, took a bunch of pictures that I thought were amazing, and the bride loved him, and his angle and his point of view was so unique that I thought, you can't sit at home while I'm doing this. You're coming with me. So that's sort of how we got our start together as a team. We went to high school together, so it's not like we sort of just met and started dating and got married. We've known each other way back. We go way back. I have known Shane since I was 15. We flipped hamburgers together. My first job, he was hired at, and we would run the night shift. It was a little hamburger stand back in California, and we would flip hamburgers together. I wasn't old enough to drive, so he would drive me home. So I've known him for a lot of years of my life, and we went our separate ways after high school and then came back together 14 years ago. So, we've known each other for a long time. We've been a team for a long time, from flipping hamburgers to, going to school together to now shooting weddings together. We've been through a lot. So yeah, we're a team. That's how I got my start. It took someone to really bring me to reality in a really harsh way and tell me, you're not good enough, your work sucks, you have a lot to learn, to learning and applying what I learned to other photographers taking me under their wing and saying, here, let me show you the way. Let me show you what I've done, and then that way you can take it and do what you want. It took all of that to be the person that I am today. So my dear friend Robert that I met, about 6 years ago, Robert Treywick, he's a wonderful teacher in this community. He's become my closest friend, one of them. And his wife, Terry, they are an amazing couple, and I just love them. I truly love them both. They have taught me so much. Yet another photographer in the community that has taken me under his wing and taught me a lot of things about lighting, especially how to light a reception. I had some questions on that. There's so many people that have made me who I am. And Robert always told me, and he has been telling me for the last several years, you have so much to share. And I would laugh at him and say, I don't think so. I'm still learning. I don't know everything. I don't know enough to teach anyone anything. But he told me, you're wrong. Because yes, we've all been through a journey. We've all been through, all of these experiences that have turned us into who we are today in this business. Every photographer has kind of the same story. I struggled, I sucked, then I got better, and now look at me. It's basically the same thing. They can all tell the same story. But he kept telling me they want to hear the story from you. They want to hear about your journey, your experiences. And I think now I'm finally ready to share all of that. I've reached a point where, I'm shooting a lot of weddings, thankfully. I will remain humble about that. I'm very grateful for that. And I don't think that I'm better than anyone else in this community for doing that. I feel very fortunate that I have the client base that I have. I'm really happy about that. And I would not have any of that without other people helping me. So I think surrounding yourself with friends that can help you and take you under their wing and show you little tips and tricks and little tidbits of information. Take that and run with it and turn it into your own experience and your own path for your business. That was a huge thing for me. I've gotten a lot of help along the way. I couldn't have done this without help. So I think now I'm finally ready to share that journey and, little tips and tricks about this business. This business is hard. It is hard. Anyone who can sit here and say, I figured it all out and look at me now and I came out the other end completely, unbruised and that's a lie. There's no way. Every person on this earth that has done anything, started any business or, anything like this, there is no way you're going to come through the other side without shedding tears and blood and sweat and everything else. There's no way. There's just not. So for those that are starting out now and they say, well, how do I even do this? That is such a loaded question. It really is. There's so much that you have to do to actually start a business legally, but I'm not going to get into that right now. It's a lot of work. Everything about running a business and being a photographer, whether you're a wedding photographer, an event photographer, anything like that, it's a lot of work. And sometimes sitting at home alone, because that's what we do. We sit and we think and we edit and we deliver photos and we're on the other side of a computer for 8 hours a day. It's lonely. It sucks. And you don't know if you're making a mistake. Am I doing this right? I don't know, because there's not going to be someone sitting next to you every single day saying, okay, yeah, you did that right. You got this. Or no, what are you doing? You have to figure this out on your own. If you don't have the stomach for figuring this out on your own and you realize, well, I'm not good at anything. I just want to take pictures. It's going to be very difficult for you. When I first started, all I wanted to do was take pictures. That's all I wanted. I didn't want to pay taxes or file taxes or, have a separate checking account for my business or advertise. I just thought if I'm good enough, people are going to come to me and I just want to take pictures. It's a very sort of naive way of thinking. And I admit I've been naive a lot of times in my business. Again, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes all the time, but I learn from them. And I think that's the important thing is you make mistakes in this business and either someone tells you that you've made a mistake or you realize later on, okay, I made a huge mistake, and what can I do to not make that mistake again? So I have some things written down. I think also in this business, it's really important to have a few idols. Anyone who knows me knows that I love Jasmine Star. And if you've never heard of her, please look her up. You could Google her. She's got a website. She's got all this stuff. She was a really great wedding photographer in Southern California for many years. She's currently not doing that anymore. She got out of that and took her business in a different direction. I still want to do wedding photography. So just because I'm posting videos now, don't think, oh my God, she's getting out of weddings. Now she's, posting videos and that's going to be my life. No, it's not going to be my life. I really don't think that I'm going to have a huge following on YouTube. I'm not going to be the next greatest wedding influencer. There's too many other people out there that are way better at this than I am. Jasmine is probably one of them. I was looking at her YouTube channel last night, and the content she puts out is amazing. She's on top of her game. She knows exactly what she's doing. But the important thing about when you're first starting out is to find other people whose work you like. And I liked her work. And I liked that she put out videos and she talked about it. And I liked that she struggled. And I felt like we started our businesses in the same time frame, in the same year. But I feel like we sort of grew together. And that was one of the things that I really liked about her, is the fact that I felt like we were going on this journey together. And it was kind of cool. And I was learning things. She was teaching, she would post videos. Even 10 years ago, she was posting videos. And I really felt like I could learn a lot from this girl. And the good thing about it is she's in California. She's not here. So I'm not looking at someone here in this city and trying to copy everything that they're doing. I'm looking at someone who's totally far away, has a totally different way of doing wedding photography, has a totally different style than what was out at that time. And I sort of felt like she's safe to sort of follow because it's not what is being done here. And so I felt good about that. She had fresh ideas that I could use here that no one was doing. Of course, nowadays, everyone's work is, it's very similar. Everyone's got the film look going on. Everyone's got the bright and airy, no artificial light thing going on. So, it's really hard to find a unique style now. But 10 years ago, what she was coming out with was amazing. So it is important to find an idol. Find someone that you really enjoy listening to and watching and looking at their work. Someone that you could learn something from, I think, is super important. Figure out what you like about their work and what you don't like about their work. There are a lot of local idols that I've had here for years. Travis and Haley G, they're a couple. I think their work is fantastic, but I don't want my work to look just like theirs. I want to make my own work, and that's important. You can't just copy other people. You have to find work that you like, figure out what you like about it, try and recreate it, but put your own spin on it. That is, so anyway. Study research is a huge part of running your own business. If I told you I never studied or researched anything this whole time, that would be a total lie. There's so many books, and during PhotoCon, I will be giving 2 copies of this book away because it had a massive impact on me, and I will link it in this video so that you can, check it out. But listen to audiobooks if you don't have time to sit here and read. I listen to audiobooks while I'm editing. Learn about business. Learn how to run your photography business. Learn how to shoot different ways. Learn how to use lighting in different ways. Watch videos about lighting. Watch videos about photography and shooting. Watch videos about how to run your business, how to figure out your expenses and your income and what to charge. Susan Stripling was a major part of that. And that's another reason why I can't wait to meet her during PhotoCon. Susan Stripling shaped my pricing. I couldn't figure out how to price my work to save my life. Susan Stripling, through a creative live video, showed me how I should be charging, what I should be charging, and why. So there's so many aspects to running a business. It's crazy. It's hard. It's a struggle. It's lonely. You don't know everything, and you're constantly, to even ask a question, you find the answer, but then the answer leads you to another question that you have to ask. So it's constant. It's a constant vicious circle of asking and learning and asking and learning and research and struggling and clawing your way through it. And if you want it bad enough, you will come out the other side. And I'm not saying that I can do my victory dance yet and I came out and I won the race. No, I haven't. I'm still learning things every single day. And like I've said, I still make mistakes. I mean, maybe not every day, but I still make them. I make lighting mistakes. I mean, you can practice, but I mean, wedding photography is still such such an on-the-spot thing, you know? You take your bride outside during the reception to get a few shots, and it's like, oh my God, well, the sun is, you know, way over here rather than over there. And so it's like, you're constantly having to adjust on the fly, like, okay, stand here, shoot it there, okay, feather it. Well, it's too feathered. I'm not even getting light on her. Okay, now feather it less, shoot it directly at her. It's like, it can be so fast-paced and so confusing sometimes, but we end up with the greatest work and we end up with the most beautiful portraits. And so that's what keeps me going. That's why I keep doing this, because the work that we put out, we struggled learning so much, but we got it. And it's so awesome. And it makes you feel so proud. When I'm sitting here at the computer editing all this stuff and I see the photographs, it's like, man, we got to keep going. This is, you know, we got to do this. This is awesome. So growing and finding new idols, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Just because I love Jasmine Star and I love Susan Stripling, and there's a lot of other photographers out there that I really like, you have to grow also. I have watched a lot of videos and no one has said this so far, and I think this is important to say. I like Jasmine Star, but there have been a few times over the years where I have gotten out of following her because she's taken her business into such a new direction that I felt like that's not the direction that I'm still going. So I'm going to have to sort of let you go. And let me tell you why. She got out of shooting weddings, you know, 4 or 5 years ago, or maybe it was less than that. I can't remember. And really started getting into social media and marketing and all this stuff. I just felt like that's a path that I can't go down right now because I'm still so focused on weddings. So I had to find new people to sort of look at it. She wasn't putting out any more work. So I felt like, okay, well, there has to be some other people out there who, you know, are going in the same direction as me, but have really great, interesting work that I can look at and, you know, sort of see what path they've gone down and what their journey has been like. So it's important to grow and find new people to look up to. You can't, I don't think you should stay in the same spot, because if you stay in the same spot and you're looking at the same work that these people put out, you're not growing. Does that make sense? It's hard to explain. By finding new idols and finding new people that I look up to has allowed me to grow, you know, professionally also, because I see what they're doing. It's like, oh, wow, well, Jasmine never did that. I think I'm going to try that. You know, so it's important to keep growing, keep reaching higher, keep finding other people that, you know, force you to grow, force you to put out better work. See what they're doing and reach to a higher level. So it's important. You just have to do that. You can't stay the same. You can't stagnate. You can't just stand there in the quicksand and let it envelop you. You have to keep fighting. You have to keep reaching higher, and it's important. And no one really talks about that. People just think that, well, once you've reached a certain level, stay there. No, don't stay there. Keep fighting every single day. Wake up and fight every day, because that's what this business is. You wake up and you fight every day. I mean, I'm not sitting here, brainstorming every single day of my life. I would be lying if I said that. I mean, there's days where I go to the store and I shop for food and I pick up my girls at school, and I don't do anything that day as far as work, because I also think that as much as you want to work and brainstorm and come up with new ideas for your business and shoot, and listen to videos about shooting and all this other stuff, it's also important to take a break, because with breaks, it sort of refreshes your mind, and it sort of, you put out better ideas sometimes with a break. So for me, resting is just as important as working hard every day. So this first video, I hope, was not a confusing mess. I'm probably gonna look back at it later after I've recorded this and delete it. I don't know. There are times where I feel like maybe I might ramble, but when it comes to the journey I've been on, there's so many, it's like a tree. There's so many little branches that I could go off and talk about, that I really just have to remember to focus on one topic. And today's topic was, how did I get my start? I hope I answered that question. It hasn't been an easy journey, but in a lot of ways, I'm thankful it hasn't been easy, because I think if it had been easy, I wouldn't have learned what I've learned in the way that I've learned it. So I really feel like everyone's journey is going to be hard. Everyone's journey is going to be different. Maybe your journey won't suck as much as mine has sucked. Maybe your journey won't be as happy, like mine has been happy. There have been a lot of wonderful moments in photography for me. Half the people that I know, there's no way I would have met them without me having a camera in my hand. So I'm very thankful for that. I couldn't imagine it turning out any other way for me. This was just the way it was supposed to turn out for me, I guess. So I am thankful for that. It has shaped me into the photographer that I am and the business person that I am today. So I want to thank you for watching this video. I know it's very long-winded, but this is exactly the reason why I wanted to start a YouTube channel. I didn't want to put all this out on Facebook. It's just too much. It's too heavy for Facebook. So thank you so much. And give me a list of topics. I want more things to talk about. So what else do you want to hear from me? What else do you want me to say? I think the other question on my YouTube channel, thanks to Jennifer, was, what is the perfect wedding kit? Well, maybe in my next video I'll share that. So thank you so much. Bye.